Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Right now, it's the 17th of August, and we're going to begin our class on how to do an appropriate screening using Rayyan. Entonces, so to begin, what is Rayyan? Rayyan is just a software which allows us to make screening way more effective. So, what we last left off, we learned how to do a a screening and a systematic search and get all of our respective um, search strategies into Sotero so we can eliminate the duplicates. So after that, we're able to get a single RIS file. So what the next step is an example. This is Rayyan. This I'm gonna just introduce you guys. This is Rayyan. This basically changed our life because back before Rayyan, what we used to do is I'm not even sure if we have if I still have this file open, but what we used to do is just like in an Excel sheet, like have all of the articles that we have to look upon, and it was a very slow process. But now, Rayyan, I'm just gonna show you guys. I'm gonna open one of these screens, which is an ongoing process. So Rayyan is just a software where we can like organize a bunch of different people doing a screening. Because as I mentioned before, what is ideal is that once we have to do a screening, at least two people are doing it. Two, three max. More than four is unnecessary. Because the goal of a screening process is searches like a list of 1,000, more than between 100 and 1,000 papers, and get a list of maybe 20, 30 relevant papers depending on your exclusion criteria, um that are going to be relevant for your study. And what is very common is that we search 1,000 studies and we only find the 10 that are relevant. All right. So what I always tell my students is that Rayyan is so easy to use that you could cut seven fingers off your hand and you could still do a screening. You literally only need three fingers, which are the three following buttons. So when we're doing a screening, we're basically gonna get three lists. All right. First, we're gonna get a list of papers that are 100% gonna be included, and so those are like pretty like straightforward. If we're just doing an example, if I were to open a new document, just to make like an example of inclusion and exclusion criteria, right now I'm gonna do as like a brief example. um right now I'm doing a project on there's a technique called stereotactic radiosurgery, so SRS, which is basically like radiation, but in a very focused place, which is very beneficial because it's like a minimal invasive, no need for opening the cranium. So what the SRS technique for meningiomas is usually done for meningiomas that are smaller than 3.5 centimeters in diameter in the longest axis. So that is what is most common. So my question is, hey, if we have meningiomas that are less than 3.5 centimeters that we can radiate, in what context we should do microneurosurgery instead of just doing SRS? Um, so that is like our main question. So our inclusion criteria is finding studies that have meningiomas less than 3.5 centimeters that relay any relevant outcome, mainly symptoms like cranial nerve deficits, cranial deficits. I want like K series, cohorts. I want RCTs, and I only care about meningiomas. All right. So my exclusion criteria would be any study on non-meningiomas, any study that don't that have a large meningiomas, larger than 3.5 centimeters, and I don't care about mice, I don't care about preclinical studies, and I think that's like the basis, all right? So here's the deal. If I find a study, as an example, Dr. Randy D'Amico published a study on Facial nerve outcomes by Dr. D'Amico. Um, I think Gupta is also a good one. I can't remember. The Miko. Miko. It's hard to find, right? Then small meningiomas. All right. So imagine that I find this study that it fits all of my criteria. What we would begin with is, oh, this will definitely be included. Okay, include. And then we continue on to the next one. All right. Now, imagine that this study it maybe fits our criteria. What I really love about Rayyan is that it shows you the abstract. So 9 times out of 10, you'll be able to identify if this study is going to be relevant to you just with the abstract. As an example, imagine that this paper tells me that it's at 3.5 centimeters and that it fulfills all of my criteria. Dude, I'm gonna include it. All right. Now, the second thing that you guys need to learn is that, oh, look, we found tumors that are 2 to 3 centimeters. Ah, but I'm not sure. Imagine that I'm not sure if it's meningiomas. It has lesions of the middle fossa, orbital fossa. I'm not sure if this one will fit. What I'm gonna do is like open the full paper. I'm just gonna copy paste the the article. I'm just gonna make sure that it's by the same author, Patel. Okay, I tried to open it. I tried to download it. Um, I'll usually be able. We'll usually be able to like download it. If you guys have any problem like finding any specific study, I can help you guys like download it. But imagine that we open the full paper and I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I have to look through supplementary materials. Maybe there's like a single sentence that I'm not sure if I can use. And it's like, all right, you know what? I'm not gonna spend like an hour of my day in this thing. I'm just gonna put a maybe and gonna put like, oh, um, maybe always, always, always with a note. As an example, um, I am not sure if they report the specific meningioma outcomes. And that's it. Now you go on to the next article with a maybe and a note. What I also like to do is like if I find a specific sentence that makes like noise to me, it's like, oh, I'm not even sure about this note. I'm not even sure if it has the specific methods. I'm just gonna leave it as a note and go on to the next. All right. Um, and that's the second button. And the third button, really easy, is exclude, but always, always, always exclude with the reason. Because honestly, I don't care that you guys are able to publish an abstract. I don't want you guys to do that. We want you guys to become like full-on independent researchers. And the difference between someone that has to pay for your paper to be published against someone that is able to publish in JNO, JNS for free is the quality and how rigorous our methods are. So the third button that I want you guys to learn is exclude. Always exclude with reason. Imagine that I find this paper and it's like, oh, this one only excludes meningiomas that are more than 3.5 centimeters. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna exclude it with a reason like, oh, it's more than large size meningiomas, large size, and that's it. You go on to the next one. Why do you want to exclude this one? Oh, this one is on vestibular schwannomas, so other tumor. Next one, and that's it. All right. Um. So your goal is to like um exclude, but always include a reason. Why? Because the really good studies have a really detailed prisma diagram. All right. So what's a prisma diagram? A prisma diagram basically means the way that we did our screening of the papers. This is like the first time that you guys see the prisma diagrams, but it's like prisma templates. It's basically like a template from the Prisma the guidelines for how for doing systematic reviews and meta-analysis. So basically, there's like this there's like this list of templates. So you're just gonna eventually download one of these templates, and you're gonna put in the relevant data. And this is like one of the Prisma diagrams that on one of our published studies that was accepted in JNS. So we include how many papers are from each database. That's why from day one I told you guys that you have to know how many articles you're extracting from each database. All right. So because in any moment that you overlook some of these details, you're losing quality for your study, and that's bad. All right. So you first include how many papers that you got from each database, how many you excluded from screening, and then you're gonna put a list on the reasons why you excluded any of your studies. Like, oh, we excluded them because they didn't report seizure freedom. They didn't report meningioma resolution. They didn't report, etc., etc., etc. All right. So the thing is that we're gonna begin our screening with, I don't know, 900 papers. All right. So after you get these 900 papers, and the wonderful thing about Rayyan is that currently, imagine that we have all different choices. I took you guys' like 7 fingers off your hands. You only use your 3 fingers. Include, maybe, and exclude. After that, imagine that I make my choices. Andre makes his choices. We have 2 or 3 people making their choices. After that, we're gonna turn off the blind mode, and now we're gonna see the choices of everyone that does that made their choices. And that's really practical, because look, now we can divide our list into 3 different categories. The conflicts are like the ones that I included and some other guy like didn't like. All right. The maybes are like the ones that we want to review because they have notes, and Jorge is someone that helping me with this extraction, so he's very accurately making like notes. It's like, oh man, I'm not sure this. It has this size. It reports the size in volume, so I'm not sure if it's relevant for us. So that's like really that's like super useful. And then at the end we have a list of the included papers and the excluded papers. All right. So after everything, we're gonna export the list of included. We're gonna export it um, just the filtered in a CSV format, and we're just gonna include the last name and first author, and that's it. We're done. It's gonna be sent to my email, and that's basically the way we do a screening with Rayyan. Just 3 buttons, but the thing is that imagine that we all made our choices. The goal is that after each of us makes our own decisions, we're all the whole group is gonna come into a group, because most of the times I'm not gonna do the screenings, honestly. Like, imagine that we all can do screenings, but like, if it's my project, and I know that the most like rigorous part of the article is doing the statistical analysis and the writing. I know that I would prefer me doing the statistical analysis, Like, the head of the project is usually the one that does the most, maybe not the most hour time or time extensive parts of the study, but will do the most like either academically or more statistically advanced parts of the study. So honestly, I don't do screenings anymore. But what I would usually do is like do a meeting with you guys and be like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Um, if I want to show you guys like um a new screening that I want to do, I'll do a meeting with you guys and be like, hey guys, this is the paper list that I want you guys to take as an example. Like, I really love this paper that is only for small size meningiomas. I love it. I want to look for these outcomes, these groups. All right, then we're all gonna be on the same page, and I can leave you guys to do a screening in like a week or 2 weeks. Usually it takes me like a week or two to make a 900 paper screening, but it has taken me like a month to do like my first screenings when I was like for just starting out, all right? But Ryan is makes it way faster, all right? So at the end we're gonna get a list of articles. I'm just gonna open it. Fun fact, I learned how to whistle like a week ago, but I'm not very good at it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm sorry, you guys are must be like cringing, like, dude, this guy doesn't know how to whistle. What a nerd. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a nerd. I'm sorry. Um, So yeah, like I just screened out like three papers, and at the end it gives us this list, which has like the DOI, the URL, the title of the study, the author, and that's it. Now we can begin the article extraction, which I'm pretty sure you saw last week with Pavel. Please let me know if you guys didn't see it, so we can see it like in the next class. But but yeah, that would be like the how we do a screening. Any questions? Any comments? Was with everything clear? I told you guys that this was gonna be like a quick 20-minute like lesson. How is everyone? So yeah, at the end, we would all come together to review the maybes and the conflicts and the included. I usually like, okay, yeah, if everyone agreed to include this paper, let's include it. But we're open to doing while we're doing the article review. We can like exclude papers that one's like, yo, even though we included this one, I don't think we're gonna be able to use it. Oh, it's okay. Then we can remove it. All right. So first the screening, two or three people blind, and then we would all review in a group the maybes and the conflicts, which are usually like 30 or 40 or 50 papers. All right? Is everything clear? All right, good. And just to finish, okay, so in terms of like reviewing the Prisma diagram, at the beginning we'd have all the papers, exclude the duplicates. After that, we would have the number of articles that we're going to screen overall after removing the duplicates, and that studies sought for retrieval. What is sought for retrieval? These are the conflicts, the one that we all reviewed as a group to discuss if we included them or not. All right? So imagine that we are gonna review. Oh, we're gonna review 59. Oh, good. We reviewed 59, and after this, we're gonna include. We all agreed on including 17. But if in on these 17s, oh, hey, I couldn't access the PDF, or hey, one is in Chinese, or hey, after including this one, um, actually I didn't like it, so let's exclude it after we already started the screening. All right, then at the end we're going to have 13 studies, and that's it. That's how we do a Prisma diagram. All right. Um. So yeah, any questions? Any comments? Anything else? What I also like to do is have these as maybe. As an example, if I find like a meta-analysis that is exactly the thing that I'm doing, but it's like from 5 years ago, I usually put it in like a maybe or put it like a label, like, yo, this is a relevant meta-analysis. I would just like label it, and after that, this would be useful. So like, imagine that after we finish our screening, we're like, hey, can someone review this paper, get inside of the paper, and check all the single references to see if any of these references is useful for us, you know? So at the end of our paper list, we're gonna include papers from our screening, but we can also include papers from like past studies or like a manual search that you did, all right? So yeah, that would basically be it for screening with Ryan. Any questions, any comments, anything else? Talk now or silence until you send me a message through WhatsApp and I answer you guys, because I'm also always gonna answer. Any questions, any comments, anything else? All right, good. So Andre, what you mentioned your step was you got up to the search, right? Something like that?
Yeah, I have my idea.
Okay, good. Then we're gonna talk about that before we start doing the screenings, all right?
Okay,
Good. All right, good.
thank you.
Then that would be basically it for this segment of the class. I'm gonna stop recording and then record the next class. Any comments? Anything else? Alrighty. All right. Then thank you guys. That was screening with Ryan.